margarita, cocktail, happy hour. Let's do this. Ah, man, that's good. Can't beat that. Cannot beat a handcrafted margarita. I also like to make my cocktails how old Aunt Susan makes them.
2 shots of vodka.
Car payments. Cars. That's what we're talking about today. I'd go out on a limb and say probably one of the main factors why a lot of people are hurting financially today. What we're going to do, we're going to watch a couple TikToks. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on some things and kick back, make yourself a drink if you want to join along, and man, that's good. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, this first one, I knew I had to include in this video because this went viral on Twitter for a while. I saw a lot of people posting about it, so I'm just gonna let you enjoy this one, sit on it for a second, then we'll discuss.
Do y'all want to know what is worse than my Tahoe payment? You guys thought that was bad. Wait till you hear this one. It's my husband's truck. My husband drives a 2020 GMC AT4 Sierra 1500.
By the way, that's like, if it's white and black, probably one of my dream trucks. I would love to own a GMC Sierra 1500. Ooh, that's a nice truck.
We bought it in August of 2022. Financed it for $78,000. He still has a remaining balance.
That's why I don't have it. Oh my God, 78,000, jeez.
I think it's $72,000 or $74,000. I haven't really checked recently. His payments are $1,600 a month. So y'all thought my
$1,600 a month.
$1,400 Tahoe payment was bad.
Yo, this couple is paying $3,000 in car payments a month. $3,000. Now, I don't believe in car payments at all. I don't believe in them. I think if you can't pay cash for it, you can't afford it, go buy something cheaper. That's my thought. That's my opinion. Wow, $3,000. So if let's say they're bringing home a decent amount of money and their car payments make 25% of their take-home pay, that would put them at, what would that be, $12,000 a month they would be making if their car payments are at 25% of their net take-home pay, which I doubt that's the case. Hey, it could be. It could be. Oh my goodness, $3,000. Let's keep watching.
His truck payment is $1,600 a month with an APR of 14%.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to make another one of these. Jesus. Oh my God.
So yeah, y'all stop coming after me for my bad finance decisions and go after him because you fucked up too.
Well, hang on, honey. Hey, here's another opinion of mine, and everyone's got one. I gotta say this. I'm trying to say this lightly. I don't want to be mean because how they handle their stuff is probably way different than my wife and I, but she said he made a bad decision too. How I do it in my household is no big decisions are made financially. I mean, really, honestly, any decision, no big decisions are made at all without first discussing it with my wife, because we are one when we got married. So any decision we make as a family, we talk about together. It's just That's a marriage.
Too bad he didn't buy his truck for him. I did. So yeah, I messed them both up.
Okay, well, she came clean at the end. She said she did them both anyway, so okay. Man.
So maybe we should just let his truck get repossessed and keep the Tahoe, because a $1,400 Tahoe payment is a whole lot better than a $1,600 truck payment. Or maybe we should just let them both go back because we have the Audi now and don't need either of the car payments.
They have an Audi on top of this. And answer me this. I am curious. Because I love cars, but I also despise like payments, and I have a love-hate relationship with cars. I like nice, fancy cars, but I get pissed when I have to fix stuff and it breaks, and they're just a money pit. You're always putting money into it. You hardly ever make money on a car. Unless you're buying some rare supercar or fancy car or something like that that's going to hold its value pretty well. You rarely will ever make money on your car. My question is, I just don't get why people crave these new cars so much. Whenever what they're doing basically is they're hindering your freedom. Like, these car payments are hindering you from being able to take vacations. They're hindering you from being able to maybe go quit your job that you hate to go get a job that's way much easier or way more fulfilled or happier. It makes you happier at the end of the day. But the problem is, the reason why you can't do that is because you would have to take a decent pay cut, which in return you can't pay your bills because you've racked up all this debt and payments. I don't get it. Like, my freedom, my sanity, me not worrying about money is much more important and makes me feel better at night than worrying about car payments. Oh my goodness.
I'm not even going to start the video and say I don't know who needs to hear this, because everybody needs to hear this. I don't care who you is. Go get Gap insurance. Like, right now. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care what you got to go do. Go get Gap insurance. So in August, on my 21st birthday, I went and bought a Tesla because I already had a car, but I wanted to gift myself a Tesla as a 21st birthday. I went out partying one night with some friends, and I got into a hit and run accident, and the driver literally...
By the way, Teslas have taken a huge hit on their current values right now. Massive hit.
left.
So if you bought a Tesla like a year ago, 2 years ago, it's like half the value, I think. It's like I think it did like maybe not a 50% decline. I'd have to look that up to be exactly sure on the numbers, but they've taken major hits when it comes to the value of the car.
The car there and got out the car and ran. My insurance company was like, we only gonna pay you this much, bitch, because that's all your car's worth. And I'm like, okay, but still got this balance.
And then think about that for a second. Could you imagine the insurance company being like, we only paid you. Yeah, insurance. I just wrecked my Tesla, and I need you guys to help me out. We only paying you this much, bitch. Yo, that's funny. I gotta rewatch that.
Like, we only gonna pay you this much, bitch, because that's all your car's worth. And I'm like, okay, but still got this balance. So they like, well, bitch, you gotta pay that. That ain't no problem. I'm like, and a lot of people know when they get a new car, go get Gap insurance. Okay, that's common knowledge. But this was my first time purchasing a car by myself, going out and doing everything on my own. So I didn't know. A bitch was clueless. So now I'm left paying $700 a month for a car I don't even have. Thank God I still have this car, but damn, bitch, I don't want to pay that shit.
What trends have...
Oh, so she's paying $700 because the insurance company valued the car of her Tesla at the current time, which is how it works. But since she was underwater on the car, she owed more on the car than what it was worth today. She still has to make those car payments until the difference of that value between the insurance money that was paid out and the value of that car is paid in full. Oh, that stings. But see, that's another thing to think about when you're buying a car is like, things like this can happen. And she mentions Gap insurance and stuff like that. But again, I'm just a believer in pay cash for a car. Like, get into what you can afford and then slowly work your way up. I mean, mom's still driving. My daily driver is my wife's car she got when she graduated high school. It's a 2009 Pontiac G6. It's nothing fancy, nothing special, but it gets me from A to B. It's been paid off since I mean, since we got together. So why would I get rid of it? It's got 200 something thousand miles on it. I just drove it over 1,000 miles from here to Missouri last weekend. It still worked. It doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles, but I don't have a car payment either.
Noticed amongst people that are struggling financially, like what are they doing with their money? Why is it not going in their favor?
Everyone's good with getting a 5, 6, 7 year car loan at 25% and thinks that doesn't mean anything. So that's crazy. I mean, what? The average new car payment, what was it? I think it's recently come out to like $800 a month.
Yeah.
It's insane. If 50% of the people in the United States, 50% who have a job make $30,000 or less on a yearly basis, $800 a month as the new average car payment, that's insanity.
James, what?
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Big shout out to Caleb and Graham and Jack. Big fans of all those guys. Great creators. But I 100% agree with them. Car payments are killing the middle class right now. They're killing everyone. I mean, besides maybe the ultra rich, but they probably don't have car payments. Like the fact that people are getting these loans, they have the car for a couple months and they realize like, oh my gosh, how am I going to be able to afford this? Like, this is why it's so important. You have to run your numbers on everything. You have to understand how much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out. Do you even have the wiggle room to afford this car payment whenever you're going into it? And also, watch your interest rate. Like, don't be signing the line for a 15, 20% interest rate. That's ridiculous. Crazy. Like, go buy a $3,000, $4,000 car. Work your magic. Work hard. Work extra hours. Use that car to get back and forth from your job to your work, and that's all you're going to do until you can save up and buy another car and put a little bit more into savings or pay off another debt or whatever it may be. Like, this is going to take time for people who are in this situation, but you got to make some sacrifice to get ahead, or else you're always going to be struggling.
Insanity.
James, what do you drive?
Oh, I love these. I wanted to put this in here because I get a kick out of watching these types of videos where they go around and they ask like what car they're driving and then what their car payment is. Some of these are just absolutely mind-blowing. Like, I could never ever imagine me sleeping at night knowing I have some of these payments on a freaking car that literally, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses value. Like, people will go to a car dealership, take out a $50,000 loan and not even bat an eye on a 15% interest rate. But they won't go and put that money into a investment account and choose to buy a cheaper car. I want to know where did this all go wrong? I don't understand. Like, it's not like I don't think this needs to be taught in school. I just feel like this is stuff that's kind of like common sense, maybe not. I don't know. Like, I feel like, how do we change the narrative of stop going to overspend your money to get a fancy car that after you drive for 3 months isn't going to even feel good to you anyways because it's no longer new. That newness wears off. It's just a car you drive. Versus buying a car that maybe doesn't look nice, but instead you're using all that extra money that would have went towards a payment to put towards investments or to pay off other debts or to put towards an emergency fund, whatever your goal is at that time for a financial spot you're in. Oh, I don't know. Let's enjoy this, though.
What's your car payment?
2019 four-door Jeep, $475 a month.
Right. What do you drive and what's your car payment?
I drive a 23 Kia Stinger and my payment is $895. Eric, what do you drive and what's your car payment?
I drive a 2013 Dodge Ram Sport. My car payment is $344.
Jonah, what do you drive and what's your car payment?
Chevy Colorado, it's $800.
Brexton, what do you drive and what's your car payment?
I drive a 2020 Tesla Model Y and my payment's about $740.
Nancy, what do you drive and what's your car payment?
2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $468.
Anthony, what do you drive and what's your car payment?
I drive a 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid EX and I pay $614 a month.
With protection too.
You want a car payment that low?
All right, he said with protection too. This is something that I want to mention, and I know I will get pushback on this. People say they've used it in the past. I get it. It's okay. I never buy an extended car warranty. I don't. It's just something I've never done. Maybe one time it could have came in handy, but I just think of it as money that's already spent. Like, I'm making a gamble with myself that there is going to be something that happens to the car. With majority of the time out of all the cars I've purchased, during the time frame of that extended warranty, it would have been a wasteful purchase. To where instead, I just put that cash aside in a bank account, let it earn interest, a high yield savings account, let it earn interest. You can do this with Public. The link down below in the description. If you guys want to sign up for a high yield cash account, you earn over 5% on your cash just sitting in Public. You can also invest with Public. Link down below in the description. But I would rather put that money aside, let it sit, earn money, so it's growing in value as that money's sitting there, to where if something does go wrong, I go to that cash account, pull it out, pay for the fix, boom, done. Don't need to worry about it. I don't have to go through the headache, calling, making sure it's under warranty, fighting the warranty company whenever they try to tell you it's not. They give you pushback, we got to go back to them, and no, I don't want to deal with that. I would rather just have the cash, pay for it, be done, and know that that cash was sitting there for that. And while that cash was sitting there, it was also earning me some money. Instead of just letting it go out the door right away or tying it into my car payment or whatever it may be. That's just me.
What is the car?
2020 X1 BMW.
BMW. People on the show and their BMWs and going into debt for BMWs just so you can be the worst drivers on the road. Always the BMWs. What?
It was my
you got a car
decision.
you definitely did not need. What's the balance on this? What's the overall balance on this BMW?
Like 56.
56, 57?
56.
What's the minimum monthly payment?
1,140.
Oh my! I've never.
He tried to talk me out of it, and I said no.
What's the term length on this thing?
6 years.
What's the interest rate on this?
15%. I think.
Yeah, it's 16.
I mean, do we know the value of this car today?
It's
Half
probably,
of it.
It's probably 8,000, 2020.
My life. Okay.
Hey, if you drive a paid off car.
Oh, that was painful. That was so painful. $1,100 car payment, 15% interest, and the car's worth like $8,000 right now. This is why we don't buy expensive cars and get loans on the expensive cars. Oh, you can't do it, guys. You can't. And it's all to just like pull up at a stoplight to make yourself look better to the guy next door who doesn't give a shit about you anyways. As soon as he ain't gonna remember you. You want to impress your friends or your neighbors across the street? Doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. No one does. If that's why you're buying it, like I get like some people like nice cars. I like nice cars, but I don't have a nice car because I don't want to pay for it. Damn.
Hey, if you drive a paid off car, you're not driving a beater. You're
I like this guy.
driving a blessing, okay? Now, I get it. You're looking at all your friends. They've upgraded their cars. They've got the 2024 edition, automatic lane switching or whatever. But I'm telling you, comparison is the thief of joy. You do not realize how freeing not having a car payment is until you don't have one, right? Like, I don't even have a backup camera. I don't have Apple CarPlay.
Team no backup camera. Team no CarPlay. Team manual seats. I do have power windows. So, team no car payment. And team margaritas.
Heated seats would be nice, but it's not worth not having a car payment. And what's crazy is that over 40% of people have a car payment, and on average, they're paying $700 per month. I may not be the most fun friend that tells you to treat yourself and go buy the new car, but let me be your responsible friend and say, you don't need it.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. 13, 14, 1,200 on cars, on one vehicle. The car payment, that is the thing. That is the gap that keeps the middle class from becoming and building wealth.
I agree. I 100% agree. As a guy who has not had a car payment in, man, I don't even remember. I'm trying to think. I did have a car payment on a truck I purchased for my construction company that I worked for, but they paid that for me. So like, technically I didn't have it, but it was in my name, but my company paid it. So like, I've never really had a car payment before, besides, unless you want to count that. And actually, they gave me an allowance, and I kept my payment under that allowance, so I was making money on the money they were giving me. Like I bought like a super cheap truck within their stipulations, and they said you have, you know, your maximum amount you can buy is this, and like everyone else I knew like spent a little more over that, to where I was like, oh, I'd rather pocket the money, so I spent like $250 under for what that monthly payment would be, and it was perfect. It was awesome.
Wealth. The average car payment, $717 for one person, and if you invested that money just over 30 years at a 10% rate, that's over $1.4 million.
True. It's very true. That is the problem with what's going on today, guys. It is. Car payments are killing the middle class. And I don't know why it keeps happening. I don't know why people keep spending their money on it. You would think like after generations, like people would just kind of get it and understand and say, hey, maybe I'll just go buy this cheapy used car that has 100,000 miles on it for $5,000, $10,000, and then put $5,000 to the side to fix stuff when it breaks on it. Like that's what you got to do. That's it. It's tough. It is. I get it. I understand, especially with how expensive everything is. But holy crap, guys! Some of these decisions out there, you got to be like, you got to think a little bit. Oh, that one I truly wanted to throw up. Oh my gosh, so crazy. But, whew, I need a refill.